Thank you so much, Michelle. Hello, everyone. I'm Konika. I'm an advocate practicing in Delhi. And also, I'm also doing the Masters in Studies course from University of Oxford in International Human Rights Law. The paper which I'm going to present today is titled Issues of Privacy and Data Protection in the Citizenship Verification Process. So, as all of us are aware of the recent right to privacy decision in KS Puttaswamy, past the judgment of the Supreme Court in this case, the whole discourse around the issue of privacy has changed. And now every action of the government has to be seen through the prism of right to privacy, which has been held to be a fundamental right of every citizen. It is in this light that I have analyzed the exercise of citizenship verification, which has been and is being undertaken by the government of India. And for this purpose, I have divided my paper into two parts. The first part dealing with the question of whether the process of citizenship verification in India is against the right to privacy jurisprudence. And the second part deals with the data which is being collected by the government in this process, and whether there is any kind of privacy infringement in that process of collection and processing of data. So to discuss the first part of the paper, I have analyzed the action of the government on the touchstone of the triple test of legality, need, and proportionality, which has been laid down by the Supreme Court in the Puttaswamy judgment. Legality means existence of a valid law. Need means that the state has a legitimate action to undertake that exercise. And third is proportionality, which assumes that there is a sort of rational and reasonable nexus between the action of the government and the aims and objects which it seeks to achieve in this whole process. My conclusion for this has been that the whole exercise of citizenship verification fails this triple test which has been laid down by the Supreme Court, and the reasons for the same are as follows. So if we look at legality, it assumes that there is a valid law which is in existence. Undoubtedly, before carrying out the exercise of citizenship verification, there were amendments which were brought in to the Citizenship Act and the citizenship rules. Also, this process was also conducted in 1951. Moreover, the recent exercise which took place in the state of Assam was closely scrutinized by the Supreme Court itself in the case of Assam Public Works, which was discussed by Saika during the last presentation. So no doubt there is a law which is in existence for this purpose, but the question here is whether this law is valid. It's correct that whatever law is made by the parliament, it's assumed to be constitutional till the time it is held to be unconstitutional by a court of law. But all these amendments and this entire process of NRC the validity of the same has been questioned before the Supreme Court. Moreover, the recent act, the Citizenship Amendment Act, and the process of NPR, these have also been challenged before the court, and the constitutionality of the same still remains to be decided by the apex court of the country. So we are still not sure if this whole exercise is legal or not. Moving on to the second aspect, second test, which is existence of a legitimate state aim. Here, the government has clearly failed to provide any data or to establish that there is actually such a big problem of illegal migration that an exercise of this extent was required at this stage, when the country was facing several other difficulties, also involving the crippling economy. So the state has not been able to establish the aim, the need of having such an exercise at this point of time. Moreover, the government has also established its intention of carrying out this whole exercise, which is actually mainly directed against the minority population. Moving on to the third test, which is the proportionality. Here, clearly, the implementation of this whole process of NRC, which we saw uh, taking place in the state of Assam, has been anything but proportionate. There have been several issues which have arisen out of this whole process, um, and two of those issues were discussed in great length during the last presentation, involving the issues of women who were who faced difficulties in proving their citizenship, and also the documents which were required to be presented for proving citizenship by the people. Moreover, after this whole exercise, there have been over 4 million people who have been left out of the NRC, and what they face right now is going to detention centers, and ultimately living under the this whole idea of being stateless for such a long period. They are actually at the mercy of the foreigners tribunal at this time, which is the authority set up for deciding the citizenship after they are being left out of the list. So this whole negative implication and infringement of rights of people has taken place at the time when the constitutionality is yet to be decided by the apex court of the country. So to conclude, the first research question which I had raised is whether the whole exercise is against the right to privacy jurisprudence. It surely is, because this whole process has failed, is not legal. There was no need to carry out this exercise, and it has definitely not been any proportional to the aims and objectives which it seeks to achieve. Moving on to the second part, which is related to the data which is being collected by the government during this process of verifying the citizens. At present, there is no law in existence which extends protection for the data which is being collected by the government in this kind of exercise. Whatever law exists today, it does not cover the state authorities. It does not cover the government action. Moreover, after the right to privacy decision, Data Protection Bill 2019 was legislated, and it definitely goes a long way in declaring right to privacy as a fundamental right, and it also lays down that it is necessary to protect personal data of the people, and these have clearly been taken from the principles which were laid down by the Supreme Court in right to privacy decision. Also, this bill in a very novel manner introduces the concept of data fiduciary and data principle, and how it is the obligation of the data fiduciary to give notice to the data principle and to take their consent before using the data collected for the process, to take consent for any kind of processing of the data. So it lays down that there has to be an explicit consent of the person whose data is going to be processed or analyzed by the government. However, if we look at the provisions closely, they merely seem to be an eyewash, because there are certain limitations of this bill, which I will discuss now. The first limitation is regarding the whole idea of consent itself, because it seems to be very imaginary in a situation like ours. There are several practical and procedural difficulties which have been missed out by the bill. For example, if we look at this idea of consent in this process of citizenship verification. So even though the bill provides for the data principal to choose between uh, whether to give consent for his or her data to be used in a certain manner or not. However, this choice is not an actual choice which has been given to the people. In no way a person who goes for goes for giving data for this process can say no to either giving of data or for the data being used in a certain manner, because this would mean that his data is not collected by the government, and that person remains stateless because he will not deem to be a citizen of the country. So even though this bill provides for the idea of consent and the idea of notice to be given to the data principal, but this is actually not a very practical provision which has been added to the bill. Secondly, the bill provides for a number of exceptions where the state is absolved of all its responsibilities, and the state is not required to either take consent of the data principal or to give them a notice regarding either collection of data or processing of data for any purpose. So this again brings us back to the same situation which is existing right now, which is prior to this bill, where the government is free to carry out any function without taking consent of the people, hence infringing their privacy rights. The third limitation of the bill pertains to profiling. So the bill does contain provision for prevention of data profiling, but it's only limited to children. So the bill bars the use of data for profiling only when the data pertains to those of children. So in other situations, it's silent, which means that it does not explicitly prevent the government from using this data for such an illegal purpose. The last limitation of the bill pertains to the limited access to justice, because as per the bill, no court is empowered to take cognizance of any offense unless a complaint is filed by the Data Protection Authority of India. This means that if an individual feels that his or her privacy right has been infringed by the government, he or she does not have any provision of approaching the court directly. Hence, this means that even if there has been infringement of or violation of any of the provisions of the data protection bill, the individual has no locus, no recourse to any of the courts. It just the person needs to approach the Data Protection Authority of India, and only when the Data Protection Authority deems fit, it will approach the court. Hence, there is the bill has limited the access to justice of the citizens. Therefore, to conclude my paper, this whole exercise of citizenship verification, which has been conducted and which is going to be conducted by the government in the entire country, this has failed the test of right to privacy, which has been laid down in the decision of K.S. Puttaswamy, and the government has been acting in the most arbitrary, divisive, and illegal manner by undertaking this whole process of NPR, NRC, and CAA. Sorry, and there has been a complete contradiction to privacy rights of the citizen, which has been declared and which has been upheld to be the fundamental right of each and every individual of the country. Thank you so much.